There are 11 undocumented immigrants living in the U.S. today. For years, they've been coming, settling, and living normal lives. Immigration, always a political debate, of course, surfaced again in 2016 presidential election. And as we saw, this guy got elected.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
So what does that mean for the communities right now? I wanted to figure out what real people in real places felt about the political climate that has overtaken our country, and more specifically, their thoughts on what the Trump administration plans to do.
I would say it was very difficult, the transition from Mexico life to here. When we pretty much moved here, there was nothing for us. We were coming in and out of homes, like we didn't really have a stationary place. But then my dad landed a good job, so we kind of started working our way up. Most people wouldn't want to handle or hire any immigrants at the time. Like, it was a really iffy subject. And I guess like the fact that I didn't know the language and I was so young, like that was pretty much one of the challenges. I've adapted pretty good, just that since I am a senior and I will be going off to college soon, it is difficult with the situation of the DREAM Act, since I know that I'm not going to get as much money as someone who was born here.
Because I have experienced a kind of migration, not immigration like internationally, from south of China to the north. So it was okay for me, but the challenge was language. My dad was an entrepreneur in China, and after he came here, he has to do some kind of a labor work, you know, because he don't speak English, and it's a very big change for him. For me, I'm okay. I love the school here, but when I first come here, it was funny that I don't even know how to tell jokes in English with people because we have different culture, but later on I learned how to. The process of applying to college for me, it was the most important thing I did for it was preparing for SAT test, and I did a very good score. I had 1380. However, a lot of colleges read my transcript with huge mistake. They thought the Chinese schools are using the same grading system as the US high school do. My name is Byron, and I came from Beijing. I consider myself as an honorable American.
My name is Ruben Peña, and I'm a CIW for SEA Enrichment Action for the city of Los Angeles. And what we do is we do gang intervention, community intervention. My grandparents migrated to Los Angeles in the early 30s, around the time or the aftermath of the Mexican Revolution. To escape all that, they came to Los Angeles and trying to find a better life.
My family migrated to Los Angeles, like both my mom and dad came from different parts of Mexico. My dad got here at the age of 13 years old. So for me, it's more like, it's not that that people come here because they want to, but it's more interesting to know that it's the economical systems, like globally, that that tell people that they got to leave their communities. So it's the economic violence, it's the different ways in which like globalization and imperialism and a system of capitalism pretty much allows people from Mexico to like leave their country. Because why? There's no jobs out there. Why? Because the economy's all messed up.
You can't generalize. I mean, if we really talk about people's atrocities towards other people, I mean, the colonized American government made Native Americans go into reservations, took their children, decimated their population. I mean, our people have suffered a 500-year-old genocide.
Pretty much like our communities, right? People that are indigenous to this land have never crossed no border. You know, it's the border that crossed us.
When you're racist, sometimes you're selective about who you're gonna send up there to represent you. I guess this time they weren't. They just went with the bull, you know? Someone that was gonna be blatant and rude. And that's what happened. And that's why we have such a difficult climate in the United States, because not all white people are bad. Not all white people are racist. You see, he describes us as rapists and killers, but I still have the courage and the love to say that not all white people are like that. Just ignorant white people are.
You know, that represents this country. But people don't want to acknowledge it. Oh no, that doesn't exist. We're not all like that. But yeah, I think that a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, really like embody that spirit, you know, and this last election really taught us that.
No matter what anybody says or any policies that get put in place, the truth is, prior to the 1800s, this was all native land. And we are native descendants. My grandparents, hundreds of thousands of millions of people, we're still here. Just the books try to erase us, but we're still here.
Like he's the epitome of what a white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchal, homophobic type of system is. So he's like the epitome representation of it. So for me, it's more like that's kind of like what the power and the things that we deal with as a people is that we're dealing with an individual that represents that really embodies that spirit that is kind of like in America.
What we need to do is really to advocate ourselves, not only within our state, but of course doing something else. For example, online, express our beliefs, express our concerns about the ridiculous policies they make or the statement they make.
We as a working force bring just that, a working force. Pretty much this country runs on immigrants. This country was founded by immigrants, so when he says that we only bring our rapists and our drugs and all that, I don't see it as fair because we are hardworking people.
I wouldn't say anything, I just look into his eyes, you know? And if he was a real human, he would understand what I'm saying, just by looking into my face, you know? We're peaceful people. We come from a great history, and that great history gives us great power. We transcend death, and we come back. Whether we're mixed blood or not, we're still here because our intentions are here. My grandmother, my grandfather taught me to be a human, and they can never erase that from me.
We organized this rally because within just the 48 hours after Election Day, Muslims, Black people, Latinas, and Asian Americans have reported being verbally and physically attacked by racists, and Trump said that he would try to ban Muslims from this country. We are here because Trump's administration plans on deporting thousands and thousands of women, separating an estimated 1.4 million children from their parents. Just like Guadalupe Garcia de Rayos of Phoenix, Arizona, who had been in the United States since she was 14 years old and is the mother of 2 United States citizen children. Because people like Daniela Vargas, who was a DACA recipient and was picked up by ICE just this past Wednesday, she immediately got picked up after she spoke at an immigrant rights rally. She's been here since she was 7 years old, and now they're saying she may not even get a trial. We are here because that pig Trump has vowed to take away women's rights to unions, to comprehensive reproductive health care, and to ban women from 7 different countries.